Oh, I am struggling with motivation. So even on today's run, I ran the whole run with this thing. It's my selfie stick. Got the GoPro attached to the top, and I ran my whole run, like an hour and 15 minutes, holding that, and I just could not get the motivation to set it up to take shots. I knew I wanted to make a video, but I just could not get the motivation. So I'm still filming a video though. All right, I'm gonna get over this. And I want to talk to you guys today about running disappointing races. All right, that's what I want to talk about. We had a Q&A, a couple people came up with these questions, and I thought it deserved its own video. So today we're talking about how to deal with disappointing races. Let's get into it. Welcome back from the intro. Okay, today's run is going to be, I can't even get my head right. Today's video is going to be a little different, and by different, I mean possibly boring, because it's just gonna be me walking around the house talking to you guys. I may sprinkle in some run footage now and again, just to mix things up, but this is gonna be me talking to you guys about disappointing races. And listen, we've all had them. If you haven't had one yet, you probably will. All right, first of all, the first thing, it is important to understand that being disappointed in a race is okay. We all feel disappointed at times. So take a minute, feel disappointed, feel sorry for yourself, and then it's time to build a bridge and get over it. Okay, that's a lot of harsh, just saying to build a bridge and get over it, okay? I know it's more difficult than that, but what I mean is that it's time to accept that you are disappointed, and now it's time to learn from that disappointment. So what happened? What happened that made it a disappointing race? You might be thinking, Matt, I spent so much time training for this race and it all was for nothing. Like, I didn't get the results I wanted, so I wasted all that time. That, my friend, that is not true. And that's poison. Get that out of your head right now. Okay. For most of us runners, the running is what we enjoy. The racing is like just a little way to, I don't know, sharpen the spear, to see how good we can actually be. But when it comes down to it, the training is the pinnacle of our running life. That is the vast majority of our running life. So if you take everything out of the equation, that time you spent training, if you're training for a marathon, you may have trained for 12 weeks, 16 weeks to get to your race. You are likely going to live longer because of that training. You are a healthier individual and your life is better because of that training. Now, just because one day you didn't perform how you expected to, that doesn't negate all that time training that you've put in. There are so many variables that I'm sure you haven't thought about. Those of you that are disappointed, I'm talking to you. Or perhaps those of you that will be disappointed, I'm also talking to you. So many different variables that go into a race that, it is difficult to nail it down exactly what went wrong. So we've got weather. Did you sleep well the night before? Did you sleep well 2 nights before? Were you stressed about something else in your life? Did you eat something different? Was the weather warmer, more humid? I don't know. Listen, there are so many things that can negatively impact your race, but there are also so many things that can positively impact your race, and that may happen on the next one. So, you've been disappointed, now it's time to get over that disappointment, learn from that disappointment, and move on to the next race. Look, it's very easy for us to be disappointed in our own performance, but this is what I want you to do. Okay, I want you to look at your race objectively, okay? Not subjectively. You are not the subject of your thoughts. I want you to look at this race from the outside as if you would talk to a friend. So if a friend came up to you and said, I'm so disappointed with this because of A, B, and C, what would you say to that friend? I can guarantee that you would not beat up on your friend the way you are beating up on yourself. Why? Because it's a lot easier to see people's strengths rather than seeing our own strengths. So I want you to look from the outside. I want you to see everything that you've put into this effort, see how you can improve the next time, and then move forward. Listen, these races are supposed to be fun. They're supposed to push us, okay? And if we don't learn from things that don't go as we think they should, then what's the point, all right? It's all an experiment, you know? It's all an experiment, every single race. Keep your head up. All right, next up, I want you to look at the silver linings. We've always got to keep an eye on the silver linings. So if you have run a half marathon or a marathon and you didn't get the race time that you thought you should, there are always silver linings. Think of that training you put in. Think of that mileage base that you have developed training for this race. There are always going to be other races. Always going to be other races. While you're kind of licking your wounds about this last race that you didn't do as well as you thought you should, maybe mix things up. Use this training for good. Sign up for a different race, a race of a different distance, and see how your fitness allows you to do better in that. Sign up for a race of the same distance, but keep this in mind. Don't just rush into another half marathon or marathon, right? It's still important to give ourselves time to rest. And I know that I have also suffered from this in the past, that if you don't do well, you think, oh, I don't want to waste that fitness. And you jump right back in and you try and do another race. And that cumulative fatigue just kind of beats you up, and then you have another poor race, and that can really do a number on you. And then you have to go through all the steps again to get over your disappointment. Mix things up, or sign up for another race in the future, another marathon, another half marathon, 6 months from now, all right? And then continue working towards it. Use what you've learned. One thing I want to point out is that you can change your thinking about your race, okay? This is gonna be a feeding off of the silver linings idea, okay? But I want you to reframe it about how well you did in that race. Now, you might not have met your A goal, okay? You might not have met your B or your C goal, but if you didn't for a reason. And it's probably because the race was really difficult. If you persevered, if you pushed through those difficult times, that is something to be proud of. That is something to really give yourself a pat on the back and move forward knowing that you overcame a crazy obstacle, not just physical, but mental. Because in the midst of these disappointing performances, it's really easy to pull the plug, right? I've dropped out of several races because I was so disappointed or just wasn't feeling like it, okay? But there's been more races where I've pushed through. And I tell you what, I feel better at the end of the races where I have pushed through. And I promise you, you will too. Okay, now we know that we're looking on the bright side of things. It's important not to stew on these races where we didn't perform as we think we should. Because stewing on a past bad performance where we weren't overly excited and pleased with how we did, that can really bring us down. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to use imagery. Positive imagery. Okay, so think back to a time where you've run an excellent race, where you were so proud of yourself and pleased with your accomplishment. Or if you haven't done a race like that, think back to a workout that you absolutely crushed. All right, you went out and you ran a tempo effort and you didn't fade, or you went out and you ran 800s and your pace didn't drop throughout all the 800s. I want you to think about those times. Think about how you felt. Think about how your body felt, what you were feeling, that sense of accomplishment. Bring that with you to your next race. And I promise you that you will do better if you keep your thoughts positive, okay? Imagine yourself running fluid with a smooth stride. All the elites do it, okay? If all the elites do it, if it's good for them, it's certainly good for you and me. You know? I was actually pretty tired and I didn't want to film this video, but just talking to you guys has really picked me up and I'm feeling a lot better. Positive imagery. Just do it. Just sign up. Just get started. I'm sure just do it has been, that's a phrase that seems like it's been taken by somebody else. So anyway, just get out there. Doesn't roll off the tongue as easily. You know what? I am going to include some running footage in this video. Let's do that right now. That's my channel on the TV right there. Guys, I hope you got some value out of this video. If you have ever had any disappointment from a race, tell me about it in the comments below. Listen, I'm always here to encourage you guys, so if you're looking for encouragement, go ahead and write in the comments. Join the Facebook group, follow me on Strava, got a Strava club, you know, like the video, subscribe if you're not already, do all the YouTubery, and I'll see you next time. Oh, be kind, be happy, and run well.